Hey guys, this is Josh Bergan. I'm Fly Fisherman's digital editor. In my opinion, mountain lakes are the most underrated type of trout fishery. You've got unmatched scenery, beautiful and often native trout, and as our rivers get more and more crowded, alpine lakes are still a place where you can regularly find solitude. Today, I'd like to talk about how to find and catch trout in alpine lakes. It is slightly different than finding fish in moving water, so here's what I suggest. Reading the water is a little different at highland still waters. The first place I suggest looking are inlets and outlets. These are the places where the water gets pinched and the bugs and other food get concentrated as the proverbial conveyor belt squeezes the food into or out of the lake. Next, you should look for cruisers. Sometimes individual fish or pods of fish will cruise the shallow edges of the lake looking for food. This is very exciting sight fishing. If you do find some, cast a dry fly in their vicinity and try to get their attention. Next, look for spring holes. Mountain lakes can get just as warm as lowland rivers in August and early September, so sometimes the fish will congregate on the thermal refuges provided by the springs on the lake bed. Now, not all lakes are spring-fed, but if yours is and you cannot find fish anywhere, make a lap around the entire lake and you might find a whole bunch of them gathered over a spring hole. Bringing the right flies is obviously a huge factor in fishing success. For mountain lakes, I bring a good selection of leeches, calabatus nymphs and dries, midge pupae, larvae, and dries, scuds in different colors and sizes, damselfly dries and nymphs, and terrestrials like flying ants, foam hoppers, and beetles. And of course, I never head to a mountain lake without at least a few woolly buggers. Buggers might be the #1 fly for mountain lakes. Another thing I suggest doing is practicing your roll cast ahead of time. A proficient roll cast can make a big difference in your fishing success. Oftentimes, you'll be fishing from shore, and you'll have a wall of evergreens right behind you that don't allow for much of a back cast, and a roll cast will be your only option. If you can, bring a packable boat like a pack raft. Sometimes the fish are only out in the middle of the lake. Sometimes they're in the middle and down deep, but sometimes they're in the middle and rising. Being able to access them with your cast can make a huge difference. The rare and beautiful golden trout can be found at particular mountain lakes, often at the highest elevation. I don't believe there's much of a secret or trick to catching them. Really, you just have to keep trying. Eventually, you'll figure something out. There are plenty of articles on flyfisherman.com that address most of what we've talked about here, so for more information, head over to flyfisherman.com and search around. Those are my tips for finding and catching trout in mountain lakes. Thanks for playing along, and I'll see you up there.